So, Oz Perkins, director Oz Perkins, or Osgood Perkins, if you're not into the whole brevity thing, had a pretty solid hit last year with the movie Longlegs, about a serial killer. Starred Nicolas Cage as an eccentric weirdo, Maika Monroe as an FBI agent trying to track him down. I didn't super love Longlegs. I thought it was a pretty solid film. I thought it was strong on tone, strong on atmosphere, had a couple of really good performances, a couple of really good creepy scenes. It looked good. Overall, I thought it was kind of derivative, unsubstantial, maybe. And honestly, it really bugged me that the title of the movie, Longlegs, had absolutely nothing to do with the movie or the story itself. And that's according to Oz Perkins himself. Regardless of that, I thought it was solid. And I've been looking forward to Oz Perkins' next movie. So today we are talking Monkey.
A talking monkey?
Talking monkey, yeah. Came here from the future. Ugly sucker, only says ficus.
So The Monkey is about twin brothers, Hal and Bill, who discover an old toy monkey. Actually, don't call it a toy, in a pile of things belonging to their estranged father. The drum-playing monkey appears to cause horrible deaths around it when a key is turned in its back and it starts playing the drums. Hal and Bill try to get rid of the monkey when they're kids, but it keeps showing up and it haunts them into adult life when they're played by Theo James in both roles. The relationship between these brothers are, one of them's a real dick and treats the other one like complete shit. Hal is the victim. Bill is the one who's a little asshole. It's mostly Hal that we spend time with later on in the movie when we catch up with, Theo James when he's playing Hal. He has an estranged son that he only sees once a week every year as his own decision so that he can protect his son from this monkey. The kid's name is Petey, and Hal is wanting to take Petey to a horror fest for their week together, after which he plans on he's going to break up with his son. He's going to tell him this is the last week that they're going to spend together and that he should just go off and live with his mother and her new husband. So that's the plan for the week. But Petey and Hal get pulled into having to go to Hal's old aunt's house, who is recently deceased, and having to go through their stuff to look for the monkey. So Hal and Petey take a trip through Hal's traumatic past and his relationship with his now estranged brother Bill, and deal with the curse of the monkey. And hilarity and plenty of gore ensue. All right, so I don't want to give too much more away about the plot. It is fun watching this, unfold, watching Theo James play these dual roles of the brother and dealing with this cursed monkey. I didn't love this movie. I had fun with it, but tonally it felt all over the place. It has plenty of jump scares, but then it'll do things like use jump scares for comedic effect, so it just kind of flattens out the horror, and it just kind of gets turned into this like gore smorgasbord. A smorgasbord. We'll figure that one out. So it's like the scenes are setting up the gore as opposed to setting up an unfolding story, which, there is a story, but, it takes a back seat to the gore, of course. It doesn't take itself too seriously, which is great in a comedy horror gore movie like this, but it's like that friend that you have that just like can't take anything seriously at all, even like when stuff gets serious, it's just always sarcastic, always insincere. So again, a lot of the horror was kind of flattened out for me here. It does repeat the same joke over and over. That joke where a character says something like just, it's impossible, this is not going to happen, there's no way that I'm going back to, that house. And then we do a quick jump cut, right to the house. Or, there's absolutely no way that, I can stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning eating popcorn, catching up on Severance again. It's not going to happen. Wait. What? That kind of joke is funny like the first time and then maybe the third time. And then after that, it just kind of gets stale. But it's kind of incorporated into the movie here as like a delivery system for this story. The connection between the monkey and the horror that's going on was tenuous at best. It was like horrible, like for the first 20 minutes, like horrible things are happening, death and mayhem and gore. And then they would cut to a monkey, and it was like, there's also a monkey there. But it wasn't for me really connecting that this monkey is responsible for what's going on here. It's just that these people are saying that that's what's going on with the monkey. I did, most of the way through the movie, I did realize that I had bought in. So at some point, I did groove into that wavelength, I guess, of what's going on here. But there is a fine line between buying into a premise like this and just seeing it as silly. And for the first 20 minutes, all I could see was silly. It was not selling me on what this premise was. And this comes back around actually later on. There's an absolutely ridiculous moment. I don't want to give away too much because I do think you should go see this movie, but there's an absurd moment when somebody is wrestling with the monkey. And I won't say what it is, and it's not exactly this, but it made me think of this scene from the Naked Gun movies. So, grain of salt. The cast is pretty solid, though. Like I said, the kids that play the twins are really pretty good. They were actually in it for a lot longer than I assumed they were going to be. They last like well into the entirety of the first act. They're in like the first 30 minutes of the movie before we actually meet Theo James later on. And yeah, I really like Theo James. I like this guy. I think he's been good in a lot of stuff. He was great in The Gentleman from last year. He was really good in season 2 of The White Lotus. There's a lot of talk about like who's going to take over for James Bond, and I think this guy would be a pretty decent James Bond, but I would love to see him do something like if they ever did a remake of The Long Goodbye, that Elliot Gould movie. Maybe they shouldn't do that, but if they ever did, I think he could do really well in a role like that. He kind of reminds me of those more mature male actors from the 70s who were men. Tatiana Maslany is also in this movie as the mom. She's a fantastic actress as well. She-Hulk didn't do her any favors, but she fits right into the horror genre here as the creepy as fuck, unstable mom to the twins. The rest of the cast are kind of hit and miss, I guess. For the most part, they're really pretty good. It was tonally, it feels like a lot of them are kind of like they wandered over from a Tim Burton set. They kind of have that unreal, surrealistic feel to them, especially mostly like the real estate agent. The lady who plays the real estate agent for Hal's aunt's house is pitch perfect. I think she was perfectly cast and really kind of nails what they were going for with the tone of this movie here. Oz Perkins himself shows up in a cameo. That's always a controversial choice. He wasn't in it for too long here, I guess. Overall, though, unless I say otherwise, I think you should go see as many movies in the theater as you can. Yeah, this one isn't perfect, but it's a fun time. The gore is great, super inventive. I thought this was a lot better than the gore that we saw in something like In a Violent Nature from last year. Last year. I haven't lived in Wisconsin for like 40 years, and that's coming out now. Theo James was good. The gore was good. The script was okay. The monkey's kind of silly. The kids were good. Oz Perkins is still an exciting director, so I'm looking forward to the next thing that he does. But those are my thoughts on the movie The Monkey. What are you guys thinking? Are you going to go check it out in the movie theater, or are you going to wait the 12 days before it comes out on streaming? Whatever it is, go see stuff in the movie theater. But thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment. You going to see it or are you going to skip this one? Hit like, subscribe, something about an algorithm. See you in the next one.